Why do some people struggle with money while others make the right decisions and build lasting wealth? In this mini-series, Dr. Matt and I explore the psychology of money and the behaviors that quietly shape financial lives. Y'all, money's emotional. It's tied to fear, identity, habits, and even relationships. And we've learned that long-term financial success is as much about behavior as it is math. Even the best financial plan can be undone by poor behavior, while good financial behavior has the potential to compound more powerfully than investment returns. In this series, we explore why people struggle with money, how emotions drive decisions, and how habits shape your financial life. This is the stuff about money they didn't teach you in school, Psychology Edition. Welcome back to the Stuff About Money They Didn't Teach You in School podcast. I am Erik Garcia, certified financial planner, and I am your co-host for not just this episode, but for a series of episodes that we will be recording. My co-host for this series is none other than Dr. Matt Morris, longtime friend of the show. Actually, one of the OG co-hosts of mine for my podcasting journey. And he is here for a really specific reason. This episode or this series of podcast really is, we're going to touch on something that I've really come to learn over my history in the financial space, that building wealth, having financial success has as much to do with behavior, with managing emotions, all that psychology stuff that it does with the technical stuff about money that I get taught in the industry. So today we're going to be talking about mindset and the importance of mindset as you build wealth and have financial success. So Dr. Matt Morris, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, great to be chatting with you about all this great stuff that we talk offline about all the time.
All the time. And I get so many requests from podcast listeners, people who have tuned in, have been following me through podcasts and through videos over the past 6 years.
Yeah.
They want more of this stuff. It's amazing to me how much this emotional side of money resonates with people, but yet it's not really the sexy part about money.
The sexy part is how big is your portfolio. The less sexy part is the grind.
That's right. Yeah. And that's how wealth is built. Wealth is built through the grind. So let's hop right into this. In this episode here, we want to talk about the importance of mindset when it comes to building wealth and having financial success. Now, I'm going to define mindset for us here, so we have a working definition of mindset. And then I want to, I've actually just spoke to a group of high school kids, and I was trying to convey to them this idea of mindset. And I want to see if this resonates with you, and then we'll kind of talk through some points, and we'll see where it takes us. So for me, mindset is just an underlying set of beliefs or attitudes that we hold about money, about spending, about earning. It's almost the filter that we process things through, right? What's my mind about money? What do I believe about money? Do I have a scarcity mentality? Do I have an abundance mentality? Do I think I'm, destined to be poor? Do I think I'm destined to be rich? Do I think, all those things feed into mentality? It's a filter. So here's how I think about it. It's kind of like your TikTok algorithm. I think my TikTok algorithm, is mostly probably influenced by you because you send me TikTok videos time to time.
I'm influencing your FYP.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You are. And so if you think about the algorithm, it's going to feed you things that you want to see or that you have looked at before. And it basically controls to some degree how you understand and interact with certain ideas, right? It runs in the background. You're not necessarily intentionally saying, I want more golf videos or I want more political videos. It just knows it and it feeds it to you and it kind of perpetuates this idea. And I think that's how mindset is. It's a filter that runs in the background that's constantly running, that's helping us make sense of our environment.
Yeah. And in this case, we're talking about the filter of how you view money.
That's right.
And your relationship to money is always running in the background. We, in my field, in the mental health world, we might call this a script that you live by. It's somewhat subconscious, but not totally. You could certainly become more mindful of your mindset or of your script. Another word for it might be schema, or the way in which you view the topic, like my glasses influence how I view the world. That's our scripts do the same thing. It's kind of like what you're describing is kind of like the concept of worldview applied to money. So our financial worldview is sort of our mindset or our script. And I guess what the headline here is, we all have these mindsets. We all have a way in which we default to thinking about money and our relationship to money. And that governs a lot of our behavior.
So how do we form, it might sound like an obvious question on the surface as I'm asking it, but like, how do we form these money scripts?
Yeah. I mean, I think for most of us, our early experiences with money and around money, which for most of us relates to our family and how money was handled in our family, how money was talked about. I was thinking about this conversation today, and I was thinking about how when my kids were little, we would go out to eat and we would want them to get the thing that was affordable on the menu for them. We wouldn't want them to get, at 4 years old, the filet mignon that was going to be very expensive. We wanted to, is there a kid's version of the filet mignon? We'd want some sort of like kids meal. Yeah. Kids meal. And I remember them getting to a certain point and now being like young men, essentially teenagers, going like, Dad, can I get like an adult meal now? So they had some script in their mind around wanting to eat in a way that, or order a meal that was within budget, within budget.
Yeah.
Reasonable, within budget. I mean, that's all money script stuff.
Good. As you're talking, I'm thinking like, for me, like I had this feel like I do not want to pay full price for anything. Like I feel like I deserve a deal, right? like to pay full price for anything is a fool's errand. That's kind of like, that's like a script that I have running in my mind.
Script, yeah.
Like, why do I deserve a deal more than anyone else? Like I have to like have that conversation with myself.
Yeah.
But that's a true script that runs in my mind.
To pay full price is a fool's errand. You mentioned earlier, like abundance versus scarcity, like the feeling, the script of there's not enough.
Yeah.
Versus the script of there's plenty. Sure, there's plenty.
So if I have an abundance mindset, what does that look like? How does that manifest itself in how I think about money?
Well, I mean, all of these things are sort of double-edged. They have their pros and cons. So in an abundance mindset, you might think there's no reason for me to hoard money. I can share it. I can spend it. I can make more money. I've told you this story before, but I had a friend in high school that would, offer to lend money to me or pay for something, pay for lunch. And I would say, well, let me pay you back. And he would say, give me next time. The money in the world is like a whirlpool. It just swirls, and sometimes it comes to me, and sometimes it comes to you. It's okay. It'll come back my way. It'll come back my way. So that was his sort of script about abundance and money. The flip side of that, the negative side of that, is that I can always make more money. So there's no reason for me to cut back on spending. There's no reason really for me to save. There's no reason really for me to store up or put away. You know. A squirrel in the spring is like, look at all the acorns. No reason to store any for December. Look at all the abundance.
Yeah, yeah.
And then winter comes.
And they forget where they planted all the acorns because they planted all throughout
Or they didn't plant them. Yeah, they just ate them.
Yeah. So that's abundance. How does scarcity manifest itself? If we have a scarcity mindset, how does it manifest itself?
Well, I'd love to hear also from you, but I think, the primary way that I see it in couples therapy is one or both partners feeling like we don't have enough, we're never going to have enough, we're never going to get ahead, or just even like not real clear the power of their money, what it can buy, how much they have, and therefore they're overly conservative. They just have adopted a belief that they don't have enough.
Interesting. Yeah.
What about you? How do you see that? How do you see scarcity show up?
I see it in a lot of different contexts when it comes to money. But if we kind of stay in this, like in this couples space here for a second, I see one of the big mindsets in maybe it touches on abundance and scarcity, but it's more of an expectation of lifestyle mindset. Like my spouse has an expectation that I'm supposed to deliver a certain type of lifestyle to them. Therefore, I make decisions that are inconsistent with what I'm actually able to afford. Maybe it's an abundance mindset, like, yeah, we can afford that house. Yeah, we can afford that car. Yeah, we can afford those vacations. I've had multiple conversations today, as a matter of fact, not with clients, but with other advisors on those ideas, where it's creating a lot of conflict. And it could be that abundance mindset where it's like, yeah, it'll be okay, where you can almost push problems off into the future and don't deal with them. Yeah,
and we're sort of hitting on a variety of scripts or mindsets, not just abundance and scarcity, but one of the scripts is that if I just have this next thing, I'll be happy. If I just have more, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
The quote that you always say about Rockefeller, I think, is how much money do you need? Just a little more.
Yeah, how much is enough? Just a little more.
How much is enough? A little more. Yeah. So one of those scripts. Another, other scripts that are more specific. Like if I have a certain brand of vehicle, I'll be seen as successful. If I have X square footage in my house, I'll be happy. I'll be seen as successful. I will have made it. If my kids attend this school, they'll be successful. Those are all scripts.
Yeah. So how do we, as individuals, right, we have these scripts that are running through our mind that doesn't just impact our money, impacts everything, right? Relationships, money. How do we become more aware of them and kind of, for lack of a better word, I guess, take control of them and know if, hey, is this helping me? Is this hurting me? Is this neutral? Is this good, bad? Like, how do we self-reflect and process that?
Well, the short answer is we work to become more aware of it. When I say we work to become more aware of it, we have to dig under our behavior, our desire, our wishes, and look and say, what is that about? What is that about? It's like if you were making a pot of soup, dark soup at home, like gumbo, you would have to stick the ladle in there and scrape around the bottom and pull it up to see what's in there. When I desire something material, I have to stick the magnifying glass in and look and see, what is that about? What is that saying about me? You know that I'm into we used to laugh about being into shoes. I'm kind of into watches right now. What is that about for me? What does a watch reveal to me about my money script? And so that's what I'm saying. To become aware of something that is somewhat subconscious, we have to dig around and figure out what's down there. And a lot of people, journal that kind of stuff. It's not like we usually get it all right the first time we sit down with ourselves and go, what's that about? It takes a few weeks or months of reflecting and introspection and journaling to get down to what is our money script, what is likely our money script running back there. And then it might be helpful to talk to a friend or a colleague or a parent or a professional. Talk to somebody about, here's what I think my money script is. What else do you think's going on? So just to become aware of something that is running in the background, we have to get in there and dig around a little bit.
That could be an uncomfortable exercise, though.
Somewhat. But also I don't find it that uncomfortable to say.
Well, you're a trained therapist as well.
What does my desire to buy a watch say about my money script? I think that's interesting.
Like, you're a trained therapist. So like for me, talking about money is totally comfortable. Yeah. Half the world hates talking about money. So
talking about scripts. Yeah. Talking about scripts for me is pretty comfortable. The point is that there's a script running in the background. We don't just act rationally with money. We are acting out a story about our beliefs about money.
Yeah. Now, given that some of these scripts have such deep roots in like our history, right? Childhood or trauma, whatever. Can we rewire our mindsets? Can we change our beliefs and our attitudes about money?
Yeah, but a lot of times you don't need to change it fully. You need to become aware of it. And then you need to know how it influences your behavior, your feelings or your behaviors, and you can try to change those. You can try to mitigate. When I often feel anxious about money, and when I feel anxious, I want to hoard. And one version of hoarding is to want to cash out my 401k or something. Put my 401k into cash.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably never going to get over the fact that I feel anxious about money and my inclination is to hoard, but I can block myself from cashing it out.
Yeah.
I can put in a buffer there.
Like maybe the mindsets we're wired so deep that maybe we don't particularly change how we initially think, but we can change how we respond and react to these stories that we tell ourselves.
Yeah, if the mindset is truly problematic, let's work on changing it.
Yeah.
If it's not that problematic, but the subsequent behavior is problematic, let's work on it. Let's work on it at that level.
Yeah. So like I've got this like this script that, man, there's a chance that something happens tomorrow and all the success I built goes away. So therefore it drives me to be more prudent, save more, prep for that, and stop and say, wait, okay, what's the likelihood of something that's like, I can't stop thinking that, like, for whatever reason, it's ingrained in me.
And you're not totally wrong. Something could happen. Yes.
So you're affirming
it is a non-zero chance that something catastrophic could happen.
Yeah. But it could lead to unreasonable decisions.
For sure.
Right.
Versus a more reasonable decision of like, well, let's save appropriate. Let's purchase a disability policy if you need that. Yeah. Something more reasonable.
Yeah. And it's interesting because what I find the most valuable conversations I have with clients have less to do with their investment returns, have less to do with the technical side of money. All that's important. But it seems it has more to do with dealing with those thoughts. Like, how do I process how I save or how I spend? And they're approaching it from a very particular mindset or a particular direction. And I get to act as a counterbalance oftentimes, or as a totally disinterested third party who comes in with observations that I've seen about them and decisions that they made, particularly with those people who I've worked with for a long time. Like, I've seen you make those many decisions. I've seen you make mistakes. I've seen you make good decisions. And I'm always sitting here thinking, this is probably from interacting with you for so many years. Like, why are they doing that? Why do they act like that? Right?
Yeah.
Why was that decision made? And it's mindset. So it's trying to understand those scripts, right? So we can prevent self-sabotage.
For sure. Yeah. And I think we're going to talk about emotions and behaviors in subsequent episodes.
We are. So actually, that's what we're going to in our next episode. So if you find this intriguing, make sure to tune in next time. Matt, any final thoughts on mindset or anything that you want to add?
I mean, take time to understand your script. We're using mindset and scripts synonymously. So take time to understand your money scripts. They probably came from your family of origin. So take some time. If you have a spouse, take some time to understand theirs also.
Give me one really tangible, tactical takeaway for someone. Is it like sit down for 30 minutes and just like, what's a question that I can wrestle with or someone can wrestle with when they're trying to maybe self-reflect this? I'm putting you on the spot with that one.
It's okay. I'm trying to think about the most poignant one, but what did my family communicate to me about money that is helpful? What did they communicate that's unhelpful? Maybe just start there.
Very good. And see what you picked up from them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to reflect on why I feel like I should always get a good deal and why paying full price for anything is a fool's errand.
Oh, I bet I know where that came from, buddy.
What's that?
I bet I know where that came from.
Maybe. Yeah. Or don't therapize me in public, man. All right, y'all. Hey, I appreciate y'all listening. And if you find this helpful, please share it with someone else. And if you don't follow us already, follow us wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah.